You're running full speed, but the markets are faster. Quasar Markets Live brings the world's top financial minds to you. Everything you need to know in one place. Learn from elite educators and gain a competitive edge, leveling the playing field for you. Join the conversation. Quasar Markets Live.
There we go. How about now? Can you hear me there, Andrew? Looks like we were having problems there. Does look like hopefully that has fixed it here. Ida, can you hear me now? Is it working now? Can't hear either, so you guys can. How about now? Is it working now? Let me know. I know there's a lag till when you guys answer here, so we'll hold on for a second, see if it is working. If not, I'll have to try to reset the stream or something. Hey, look at that. And you missed all those words of wisdom that I had. Okay, well, we'll quickly get everybody caught up here. I do apologize for that. I don't know why I had my mic muted, but I also now realize I probably sent out videos today that had no things. We are going to restart it real quickly here. It is. So, okay. So, what I was saying, folks, just so you know, wow, you missed some really witty repertoire, too. I had some funny things. Charlie's been giving me a hard time on our Prosper stuff. So, I've been dealing with him this morning. So, market's acting like my technical setup here today, in that it is markets are angry. I believe the markets woke up very, very angry today. Yesterday we started off poorly, but hey, we had a great recovery and finished up almost slightly up for the day, right? That's not the feeling I'm getting today. I don't know about you guys. Now that everyone's interacting with me, let me know. Do you guys feel today feels very different to me? The mood seems to have gotten much more dour. Overseas markets, where they drifted lower yesterday, they are significantly lower today. The Nikkei is down almost 6%. Hong Kong market down 1.12. Stocks, the European stock market down about 3% here. So a lot more, to me, we're starting to see the signs of a little bit of a capitulation, was what I was saying. So we also see a lot of dumping of gold and silver. That is not normally the case if everything else is hitting the fan. Now, I do know, let's face it, these have been playing like beta names over the last several weeks, right? So they haven't, acted as if how gold and silver normally act. But again, that's a pretty big down draw of 9% on silver and 3.5% on gold here. I haven't seen anything on any margin differences. So my first answer to that nowadays is usually, hey, they just raised the margin requirements at CME and that's what caused it. We'll see if that is the case. And then, as I mentioned, Charlie from Prosper giving me a hard time. Not giving me a hard time. Charlie's looking if anyone's willing to give him 5-to-1 odds that we halt to the downside on the indices today. He's a buyer. And we both pointed out that the Nikkei could be a forebearer of that. I don't think it goes that far, but I could see a 3%, 4% down day across some of these indices today, is what I was saying to myself, I guess, since the mic was not on. Things that are moving up, gas and oil, still moving up. WTI now at 75, Brent at 82. So again, I'd have to ask you guys. I've already seen it at my pumps. Gas has quickly jumped right back over $3 here in Ohio. It did not take long, which is funny because those that have been watching the show for a while know I was bitching and complaining when the price of oil, WTI, and Brent was really low, that our gas price wasn't necessarily getting there. And then it finally did, and everyone told me it's just a laggard. Well, not so much of a laggard when it goes the other way. Huh? It seems to move quickly to the upside when that happens. So funny how that plays out. Bitcoin, I pointed out that while price action last 12 hours has not been very good, I did point out yesterday here in the show and definitely in the Prosper Room, right? If we broke below that 68,500, watch out below. That's where the liquidations were. That hit pretty much to a T. Didn't make it all the way to that 66,200 I put, but I did tell everybody to watch, once you get through 20% profit, take some profit there. But again, strong. But ETF inflows were really good again yesterday, 450 million. So we've got almost $1.5 billion in inflows into the ETFs. That to me feels like institutional money, not retail money. So some of the seeds of the things we want to see as the recovery of Bitcoin and crypto. And I'm going to stick with Bitcoin because I mentioned earlier just to myself that Ethereum not in the same sort of setup. We're not seeing all of those things start to align the same way. We haven't seen open interest pick up. So again, I don't know if the Jane Street rumors were true or not, but the bottom line is we don't see someone dumping on the perps to the level that we had. And not in the way that we had. So that has allowed spot markets or the spot Bitcoin market to be more than 10% of the perp level. We really like that. But Doc, I'd have to ask you. I think it's gone from like that 440 level probably up to the $5 level. It's more about relativity. Yeah, you guys, unfortunately, gas is it's so high up there, and I have one of the lower ones. But Ethereum, not quite the same recovery or the same signs of recovery that we're seeing. We're seeing the first few major things that you want to start to see happen that signal that Bitcoin, again, I think it will hit 63 again. There's probably a pretty good chance it hits 60 again. But what we're starting to see is fair value is the word that folks like to use that we're hearing talked about a lot. We're closer to fair value, bottom fair value than we've been. And it does, again, to me, start to show the signs. And I told the Prosper folks yesterday again, I'd be acquiring for your long term on dips down to these levels if you don't feel you have enough Bitcoin for the next bull run. I don't think it ends today or tomorrow, but it's closer to the end, and the paths of least resistance right now is sort of range trading in between that 63 and 70 more than anything else. But today, if everything craps the bed, it will crap the bed with it. So that's not surprising also. What else was I talking about before we figured out I wasn't speaking to anybody? Oh, one of my favorites, Chez Target, the wife's and little one of their favorite little places to go shopping. Pretty good earnings, to be honest with you. They missed on the top line revenue by a few pennies, and literally by a few pennies. They had a beat versus their earnings per share. The new CEO, this was his first full quarter. And things seem to be, again, almost like Bitcoin. Maybe he's starting to right the ship. Wife has said things have been more in stock. Stores have been cleaner that she's been in. Sort of the things, those first low-hanging fruit that you want to see a guy fix. He seems to be doing that. They did also in forward guidance say that they expect to be ahead on net income and ahead on traffic within the stores. So, again, starting to move in the right direction there. And that's good to see on that side. Another one when it comes to good earnings was Best Buy this morning. They had a nice little earnings beat here today. Stock up nicely, 8% here. For fourth quarter, they had earnings of $2.61. So again, like Target, they beat their EPS, but their revenue declined actually versus the same period and versus estimates. They pointed to softer sales of appliances and home theater related products, but partially offset for higher demand for computing and mobile phones. And you can see some of the things that are backing up into these channel checks that show you some things. Dell talked about their good earnings. This would be a place that sells Dell computers or sells other computers, if not Dell similar. Same thing. We know Apple had spoken about the strength of their cell phone sales. So they're talking about the strength of their cell phone sales. So, it does point, you do start to see the same things coming across these different earnings reports in general. Sticking with the earnings reports, some of the areas that are still under pressure, MongoDB, MDB down about 27% here in the pre-market, all the way down at 235.80. That is after the document database company gave disappointing guidance. I believe they actually beat. They did. They beat on top line revenue and on EPS. But forward guidance has them in trouble. They expect earnings to be between $5.75 a share and $5.93. And the stock's been up about 25% over the year. So, it didn't hit the higher estimations or the higher expectations that people want to see. On the other side of that, what did is Plug Power, a really beaten up name, EV charging, all that stuff. They had a narrower than expected fourth quarter loss. So, and like we said, but the difference is MongoDB was up 25%, going into it. And if you look here over the last or year to date, they're down 9.5%, in the last month down 20%. Plug. So, maybe a much lower bar has been set for some of these that are, on the moving to the upside today. That's what it seems like, at least. Other names that we're watching here coming out of earnings: ACHR, Archer Aviation, aerospace defense name. They're down about 4.5% here today. Maker of those vertical takeoff, the eVTOL aircraft, said it expects negative earnings before interest, tax, and all that good stuff of between 160 and 180 million, wider than expected. Same thing, if you're not making money, companies, you're definitely getting punished here today. QUBT, quantum computing, they're down about 4.5% today after the company's fourth quarter earnings report raised more questions than it asked. They posted 198,000 in revenue for the fourth quarter. So, really down. Quantum computing, it's definitely hurting the names there. Their operating expenses swelled to 22 million in the quarter. So, and they attributed it to substantial growth in personnel and acquisitions playing out. But again, definitely has traders worried here so far today. Another one that's moving up today, Pinterest. And on an interesting one, Elliott Management, the activist firm, has taken, I forget how big, do I have that number here? $1 billion strategic investment in the company. That has them up about 7.5% since that news came. The other side of that, we've talked about the private credit, what's been going on there. And the cracks showing. Blackstone here, BX, down pretty big in the pre-market, down about 5% here today. That's after they disclosed that their flagship private credit fund has seen record redemption requests in the first quarter. So again, that private credit, where there is a crack, there might be a fissure. We'll have to ask BigBeat that when he comes in here. Other names that I was watching today, obviously energy, CVX still ticking to the upside here, up about 68 basis points. And ExxonMobil up about 1% also this morning. Let's play his intro and get the big man in here today. Find out if he has the same feelings I do, which is the market is angry and wants its revenge today.
When markets move, Stephen E. Orr takes the chair. From the White House to Wall Street, he's spent decades at the intersection of policy, markets, and real capital. And he's seen firsthand how institutions use data behind closed doors. Now, as founder of Quasar Markets, his mission is to pull those signals into the open so everyone can see what really moves the markets. This is Stephen E. Orr, BigBeat on Wall Street. Let's filter the future live.
BigBeat, how you doing today, my friend?
I'm good. I guess the president mismanaged this war already. It's misjudged it. Look, it wasn't going to be an easy one, and we know that. The Iranians don't give up very easily, and here we are. So I think the question mark now is how do we play this? And I'm not scared. I'm actually buying shares. I'm buying Palo Alto Networks and I'm buying CoreWeave. So I'm at the point now where I'm buying every dip. I'm not scared about this. I think that there are going to be some question marks to ask. And I was watching CNBC this morning, and Jim Jordan already was fumbling over his tongue a lot this morning, thinking about how he was trying to explain all of these wars with a peace president. So when you think about it from the market side of things, the market only likes one thing, and that's certainty, and they're not getting that right now. So to me, it just seems that there's so much uncertainty going on that it's hard to figure out what to invest in. And you look at it and you say, okay, well, the back end that says buy gold and silver, and let's buy metals, and let's buy, oil. When the Iranian Guard says we're going to shut down the Strait of Hormuz, I'm sorry, that's just water. You can't shut down water. You can try to bomb it, I guess, but in this case, I think that's kind of silly. So oil is shooting up to $76 a barrel in WTI. I think that's a great short to me. I think that's going to be pretty easy for me. Look, the 10-year now sitting at 4.098%. I think everybody was really happy when it was under 4, and thinking that they would be able to refi their house. That's done.
Yeah, thanks a lot for that.
And I think, as I just said, Howard, I think oil is a good short here. Everybody's thinking that gold and silver and metals were going to be a great hiding place. Nope, it's not.
That one got me a little bit surprised this morning, waking up to that. I mean, I'm not in the place. There's not, I have some copper.
Can't eat gold when you're dead. I mean, you can't. What are you going to do with it, right? You're just going to put it in your house. You're going to put it in the bank. Oh, the bank's not doing very well either. So I've said this a million times. I understand the love of gold and silver. I understand it. Right? It's old people doing old things, right? And I like silver at $18 an ounce, but I don't like it at $100 an ounce. And what's it at today now? 82, and that's after it ran up again, right? Okay, I get it. And if you want to play the balance, hey, I'm okay with that. Nothing wrong with that. But to buying it, to holding it forever, that's just stupid, right? Because quite frankly, what has gold done in the last 20 years? Oh, well, it's gone up. Yeah, not nearly as much as the stock market. That's literally the dollar has done better than the gold market. So, right. So when you look at it from that perspective, and what I mean by that, no, not is that the dollar went up, that other currencies were better plays. Look at dollar yen right now, 150, 158 again. It's exactly what's happening, right? We did this. I already did this. You want to make better money than gold? Go put your money in international companies. That's what we did. That's what I did 6 months ago, right? I did that when the president came in. I was like, okay, great. I guess I'm going to move all this money out of the United States and move into the country. Now, yeah, I trade, but my bigger money, Japan. Look at that. Look how great Japan has done over the and I just looked at my account this morning. My trading account in 1 year is up 76.3%. Howard, 76, and I didn't buy a single option in that account. By the way, that's a zero option account. 76.3%. Why? Because I did exactly what I said I was going to do. I stuck to my plan, and I mean, everybody here knows y'all watch me trade, right? And when I do it in a way that understands the markets. And so right now, if my understanding of the market right now is that, oh well, the market doesn't like this war. Well, actually, I kind of do like this war. I don't like how it's been done. I definitely don't like how it's being telestrated, and I certainly don't like the way that the president's talking about it. Just do it and get it over with. Look, when we talked about this 4 months ago, you don't move that many ships into the Gulf and not have a war. So we knew it was coming, planned for it, right? Buying gold was not the key, right? What was the key was buying oil. We talked about oil so many freaking times when it was at $50 a barrel. So now it's at 76. That's the difference. So now I think it's out of control. Look, look at Bitcoin, just jumped from 66.6 to 67,100 in less than 2 minutes, right? The volatility is very high. What am I doing? I'm buying. I think I did this morning, more Palo Alto Networks, and I'm buying CoreWeave. So, and I already did that. I did that this morning. Normally I wait till the market opens to see, but I already know that the big dip is happening in the morning. So I like that.
Steve, how about Chez Target? My Chez Target coming through, and Best Buy. So we are seeing some retail names that do have, some strength here this morning. And solid. Are you looking at the dip on MongoDB on the other side of that?
Already bought it. That was what I liked about it. I use MongoDB. They make mistakes. I get it, but the product that's making money, this product I actually use, that probably nobody ever understands and knows, and that's Atlas. If you're in the AI business, you're using Atlas. If you're not, or Sphere, there are a lot of companies that don't really understand it. They're trying to do their own thing, and that's why they're not getting the better one. But MongoDB and Atlas is very good. I won't explain how it works because it's part of the spaghetti. But I will say that MongoDB has, they are changing how they do things, and I don't like old stuff. I don't like old tech because it just can't keep up. The new tech and everything I have is new tech. AI is, by the way, folks, if I don't know, AI is actually built on old tech. Nah, AI is new. Nope. The actual infrastructure, most of it, is built on old tech, including almost all the AI you use in fintech. That's why we're building it on the new rails. Almost all of fintech that's using AI is using old rails. Okay, they're using old technology, but they're trying to up it with Perplexity, or they're trying to help out with using Claude. Okay, but Claude's new. Perplexity, nope, it isn't new. And the back end, by the way, of those companies is old. Oh, well, how old is it? Is it like 3 weeks? Nope, it's about 6 years. They just caught up because the databases are catching up. Okay, so when I talk about that all the time, MongoDB can help you get to the next level, and fintech won't tell you the answer to that. I won't lie to you. I'll tell you straight up. There'll be a lot of AI companies in the fintech space that are going to completely 100% fail because they don't know how to upgrade the next level. They just don't know how to do it, and they're going to use companies like MongoDB to catch up because that's the only way that they're going to be able to do it. So, yeah.
Awesome. We see what's going on across the rhetoric so far in the Capitol Hill. Anything you expect to hear, is a tweet analysis all day. I mean, that's pretty much what we're looking at, right? I'm
sick of tweet analysis. I mean, it's time for him to grow up. And when I take a step back from the markets a little bit and go, okay, let me take the 50,000 foot view of the markets right now, because what's happening right now, Howard, is so many people are literally just trading based on, the news. Well, by the time you got the news, it's already been out. I don't care what company says, we get the news before anybody else. Bullshit, because they don't, right? By the time it gets the actual retail, it's been through 7 hoppers. Trust me, because I know, because I build it. Okay. So when I see that, the Dow Jones Industrial Average is right now down 900 points. Yeah. And 42% of traders can't even get in the market right now until the open, cash open. They don't have the ability to do that, right? Okay. So if that's the case, you're already getting screwed. So guess what's going to happen this morning? 2 things are going to happen. First thing is, the ones who actually were short are going to cover, and the ones who didn't get in because they can't get in the cash market until the cash market, it's going to start buying on the open.
They're going to chase. Yep.
They're going to chase. That's right. So be ahead of the game. That's why I tell people, don't be the ticker taker. Be the ticker taker. Be the one at the gate.
I said that in the open, is that I bet Steve today is going to be sitting at the door, taking the tickets on the way out. This is the days he likes.
No, I'm buying today. As they go out the door, I'm picking them up. Absolutely. I think this is a great opportunity right now. You're seeing the test on the bottom of Bitcoin 20,000 times, and it didn't break. So guess what? That's a good sign. Okay, well, look, the VIX right now, the VIX index right now is up 21%. It's not going to sit here at 26 for a while, right?
Yeah, I did point that out this morning too. Don't be buying that. Don't buy that for a hedge now. Look,
You should have bought it
elsewhere.
3 weeks ago when Steve Flanagan was screaming
now
about
you
it.
need to be looking at other things. You know, if inflation is taking off, look at TLT, look at the other things that are about to take off. That are
Which we had. Bloomberg was on our show. We got 3 now. People from Bloomberg now telling you that, right? That TLTs. We have high quality.
Yeah, I mean that's the way it looks. And I will point out, Steve's also not saying that the bottom's already in on these stocks.
No, hell no.
Today's probably going to be a pretty blood in the street types days. What he's saying is, as he sees the irregularities, right, Steve? When you see a stock that shouldn't get beat up, that's being over beat up, that's where Steve's looking to pounce.
That's because the machines can't understand. They don't understand people, right? They try to emulate you. I mean, I now have 27 AIs, 27, right? To see which one's better. And guess what? I've said this 2 weeks ago. Oh my God, I heard so much about how great Perplexity is. Now it's Claude. Claude's better. That's right. Things are getting better on different sections and different sectors, right? They're not all going to be the end all be all. If that's how you're running, if your Perplexity is the only way you're running your finance, you're in trouble because it's not catching up. Claude's a better way of writing it for people. And I could explain all this, but there was not enough long time on the show. So when I hear that, oh, this is the best AI for this part of it, Claude just shut down the whole world because Claude's so good. Guess what? 5 weeks, it won't be. It'll be something else, right? We already know that. I like Claude.
Yeah, whoever's the latest version, whoever upgrades the latest version is gonna take the lead. Yeah, without a doubt there. Any sectors in general you're watching, Steve, today for plays, or are you just sort of waiting to see what hits?
No, but I am watching the defense sector, obviously. LMT, Raytheon. We've talked about that one until it's blue in the face. I liked LMT. I liked Raytheon because of what they produce and what. Look, we know that the Iranians are running out of weapons, missiles, and we've destroyed a lot of their sites. The mobile sites, most of them are destroyed. Obviously, the THAAD system. Iron Dome. For those of you who don't know, the THAAD-2 is what the United States produced the THAAD-2 for the Israelis. So that's Iron Dome needs to be replaced. And as I say this, literally, Trump just said the U.S. munitions are at an all-time high. That's not true. There was a thing called World War I and World War II where we have munitions. He says U.S. munitions stockpiles are at that medium and grade weapon stockpiles have never been higher or better and are virtually unlimited, allowing the U.S. to fight wars forever successfully.
Yeah, he needs to stop saying that for sure.
Stop talking. I mean, that's all there is to it. Stop talking. So when I look at spot gold 51.69, if you're using gold as a hedge, gold should be $5 billion an ounce, right? It's not. Right, it's just sitting there, and look, the stockpiles. Hezbollah just says it down Israeli drones over southern Lebanese town. I mean, here's what the problem that I'm seeing more than anything in the war. It's not that we're fighting a theater war, right? Now we're fighting Venezuela, which was supposedly we're still in Venezuela trying to get that corrected. We're now working with Cuba, right? Whatever happened, that mother that tried to, I don't even know what the hell that was about. And now we've got the Middle East. Now you've got China. Now you got Taiwan. Now you got Ukraine. We've got a massive problem on our hands. No, there's not enough munitions to do all of this. Sorry. I mean, spend a weekend on the website Jane's and you'll understand exactly what's going on, right? We have a serious problem. We have a problem. We have a peacetime president wanting to go to war. Wants a Nobel Peace Prize. So I'm not trying to down the president. I think what he's doing is right. I think that Iran is a very nasty place and it needs to be taken care of. Iraq has started to shut down oil outputs at Ramallah as storage.
Yeah, 14% of their crude comes from there, or 17% of their crude. So that's going to be bad for the oil pricing for a little bit here. We'll see how that works.
Well, if oils are filling up, the problem is not oil filling up in Ramallah. The problem is refinery, right? We gasoline obviously prices are a situation. So refineries now cannot handle this kind of. If we have a glut of oil coming that did not go through the Strait of Hormuz, we're going to have a glut of oil sitting off the coast in the Gulf of Mexico. that would then have a big X on their freaking. I don't want that to happen. That's too damn close. And CENTCOM and SOCOM is Tampa. So that.
On that note, Steve, we're going to bring Dave in here. How are you doing today, sir? Good to see you this morning. I'm going to step away and let you guys take the stage.
Thanks, Howard. Hey, Dave. How are you, my man?
Hey. Well, don't let the bastards get you down. How about that?
Yeah, you know, look, it's yeah, you're absolutely right, David. And we've been talking about the war this morning. Obviously, it's on everybody's mind. The Dow now down 941 points. The German DAX down 4%. FTSE down 2.85, and the CAC 40 France obviously down 3.4%. Europe is melting pretty much the markets, and the United States right now is also being hit. The Nikkei down 3%. The Kospi, South Korea down 8%. The Nifty only down 1.24. And wow, the world just is nervous about what's going on here. That this is not a short-term fight. This is longer term. And the president just said a few minutes ago that we have enough ammunition to fight several theater wars and to do it unlimited wars. That's kind of massive talk.
Yeah. All of those things, and the world should be nervous, right? I do think of this through a political lens, right? And there's a best case, and then there's a likely. And I hope I'm wrong. I mean, the likely one is, just gaming this out, is that the Iranians wait it out and they burn down the entire region. We're already seeing that, right? They're going to pound the GCC. They're going to destroy the reputations of those areas as safe places to do business and to visit. And look, that entire area, they get all of their food, all of their water right there. You hit a couple of those, and then you're cutting off 60% of the global energy supply. I mean, that's just a collapse. So you attack this economically.
Yeah, and it's hurting the people of Iraq, Iran. All of it. It's not just Iranians that are getting hit now. Iraqis are now getting hurt as well. We're now seeing that oil prices right now, WTI is 77.72 now a barrel, pushing higher here a little bit because of that's what happens during war, right? You start cutting. But Iranians are not just hitting us; they're hitting hotels and the U.S. embassies. They're fighting dirty, and that's fine. Then we need to fight dirty back. Can't just keep hitting their missile silos. We need to hit them hard.
Yeah, I'd say they're fighting dirty because they have to. They can't go head to head with the United States or Israel. Right. They have to go after the infrastructure. They don't have a choice. Like another way of looking at this is don't fight dirty with them. End this. Like you don't. Like every single war ended with talking, and it's just a matter of how many people need to die before then. So decide how many people need to die and then start talking.
Yeah, when now the Ayatollah and a lot of his staff are gone. I mean, who is doing this? Is just the Iranian guard that's just fighting for him? I mean, I understand now that his grandson is looking to step up and take over, right? Is that what we're seeing now?
Well, look, it's the infrastructure of Iran. I mean, it'd be just like the United States. If you took out the top leadership in the United States, like the infrastructure, the would keep going, right? It's IRGC can certainly operate independently. They got rid of a lot of the command and control, so like it's no different. It's like if something crazy went here and they were like, okay, take over the government, I'd be like, what? Like where would you start? I mean, it's a huge country.
It is a very large country, and I think a lot of people don't really realize just how large Iran it actually is, and the history of Iran. I mean, Iran is pretty much the part of the cradle of civilization. All right, I'm going to start bringing in some of the charts here. Sorry about that. Let's look at the screen. The QQQs here. We know that we're getting smacked this morning, but I see some buying here. This is a 1 minute chart. I like this chart here coming in. I have personally been buying this morning Palo Alto Networks down here. I have been putting some orders in. The spread is very high, so be careful out there. And I also have been buying MDB. MongoDB now down 26%, but I do like the buyers down here, and there seems to be some buying down here too as well. So I do like MongoDB here down here too as well. So those are the stocks that I'm looking at. They have been beaten up, and I don't know. I think there's an overreaction, Dave, of all of this this market here. Wouldn't you say?
Sure. I mean, you always trade on the emotion, right? And that's what's happening, and that's what's happening on retail. It's like people freak out and crazy stuff happens. But also, the market is so. The market needed an excuse to blow off a little steam, right? You know, like if everything went down 25%, no one would be like, "Oh, that was surprising." You know, no one would be surprised by that.
I am going to have to make some order changes here this morning, Dave. About 10 minutes now until the open here. Got about, looks like nine minutes here to the open. All right. Just going to make some changes. Adding some to core weave here. I'm going to try to make some limit orders in here if I can. There we go. And I am looking to buy some MongoDB down here, some more MongoDB on this dip here. So, yeah. Okay, and I have done that. Sorry, folks. We do trade here. There's no joke about it. We don't play around. We actually trade and do it live in front of you. So I don't wait. I have bought some MongoDB here down here on this dip down here. So making several orders here actually. Okay, and I'll look at MongoDB and explain what I'm thinking here. 241.50 right around this area. Look, I think the problem is if you look at the 1 hour chart, it is definitely creating a, well, you all know how I like this rounding lately because of that's what the algos are seeing. And you can also see on the 1 hour chart also there too. So I think this, there you go. See 243.34 already up $2 already. So up 1% less than a few minutes here. So congratulations, those of you who are listening, paying attention down there, out there. So yeah, look at that, 230. So 243. I'm gonna say long 241. Now this is what I mean by the spread is very big. So the bid and the ask is very big. So be careful out there. But we've got about looks like a little less than 7 minutes now to the open here. Dave, what's your first thoughts here on the open? You think people start buying this this dip? You think we're gonna go farther down?
I think there's nothing changing it on the upside, right? You know, to change it on the upside, you would actually have to have some different news. You have to come down. So any kind of bounce or any kind of like that, it's not. None of that is really based on anything. So until we get some different news, then you'll expect a different direction. Certainly, you'll find some quote unquote value buys in a very, very top heavy market.
I agree. There's been a lot of companies that just and QQQ popping here a little bit going into this open here. I think a lot of the we're starting to see it now actually 596.24 here. So we're starting to see a movement here to the upside. I pull up a 1 second chart. Yeah, we are seeing it now. There are buyers coming in.
You make money on the movement, right?
That's right. Yeah. Look at that.
I think I could talk about some research opportunities for folks.
Let's do it.
So, look, everybody's going to be piling into the defense stocks like Lockheed, RTX, Boeing, Northrop Grumman, General Dynamics. That's fine, but everybody's doing this. So what, right? You have to invest in their suppliers. So pull up the NDAA, get the latest 10Qs on those, get the transcripts of their quarterly reports. There's an arms transfer database. Check out the podcast that I like is called Arsenal of Democracy and get their transcripts. So that really gives you what's going on in this place. And then feed them into an LLM. You can drop all of this into an LLM and query it, find out who the suppliers are, and invest into those. That's
Yeah, and I like
make money.
Arsenal Democracy too. For those of you who don't know, it's arsenaldemocracy.us. I will get you that website too as well if I can. Yeah.
And do the same thing with energy. It's not about Exxon. Over $70 a barrel, every single fracker in the North America turns on. So it's about their suppliers. So same thing with rebuilding this infrastructure in the Middle East. So it's going to be ports, pipelines, storage, that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
that's the most optimistic thing I can say about this.
I hate that
crazy situation.
You're right, Dave. And I mean, the question is, when does this war get taken and put on our shores? Because if people go, well, it won't come here, but the hell it won't, because we had 9/11.
Yeah, I mean, CIA coined the term blowback. The reality of this is that I think best case, we kill a bunch of people, we cripple the 7th country in the region, sparking this humanitarian refugee crisis, immiserating millions of people, and we create the blowback on the US and Israel essentially for the rest of the century or longer. So the best case is death, instability, insecurity, and misery and poverty, literally nothing good. That's what's going to happen in the United States. It's asymmetric. You only need to create a couple of crazy events in a couple of crazy places to make people crazy. It's not difficult. Sadly.
Are you concerned? Are you concerned that the collateral damage is bigger than the actual damage itself?
I think the psychology of the damage will forever change us. 9/11 shifted the mentality in the United States, and it continues to. Pre 9/11 was a very different world. Post 9/11 is nutty. So yeah, it's the psychology.
It's a very good point. After 9/11, at that point I was working for the PGA Tour, and I had left Montreal. I was on my way from one tour to St. Louis, where I'm from, the St. Louis tour. And I got singled out of line when I flew in, and SSSS was all over my thing because I had dark skin, because I like the sun. Okay. And I got nailed, and I'm like, I just left the freaking White House. I'm literally what they call Yankee White, and I got singled out. That's right. That's how bad that our system was back then. And for those of you who don't know what Yankee White means, that means I went through so many clearances. There was a microscope still shoved up my rear end, even today's things, right? But it's interesting that we overreact to things, right? Little old mothers that are getting pulled aside on wheelchairs, because they have a hijab on. I mean, it's getting almost the point where that we don't know what to do. But a lot of this we've created.
All of it we've created, and once it gets into that mode, then there's no clawing it back. It's right. It sounds a little tinfoily hat, but it's the reality of it is that privacy, our money, all the things that we can do, like more and more of our rights and freedoms and capabilities, it just gets smaller and smaller every single year in the name of safety and security. I can't tell you how many laws are in place to keep the children safe that I'm like, what the hell is this?
Oh yes, in my HOA. What about the children? What about the children?
Don't care.
All right.
Be a good parent.
Oh, this is I can tell you all about that here. Okay, we got about 60 seconds now. Let's get to it. Those of you already know, I've already told you what I'm buying, and I have bought. That's MongoDB, CoreWeave, more CoreWeave, and Palo Alto Networks. All of those will be definitely needed. We're seeing a little bit of selling in the queues here as we start the process here. But I am looking. I'm going to pull up MongoDB because I think that's the one that's going to be very interesting here. Oh, look at that, 236. Alrighty, so keep your eyes high and tight. The spread's very high, folks. Very, very wide spread on this. But if you were able to get into MongoDB, wow, you really crushed this here. Okay, all right, got about 15 seconds now to the open. Five seconds to the open now. Man, Kramer's going crazy with now the Dow down 900, Nasdaq down 500 points. The S&P is going to open up 116 points down lower. So here we go. We are now open 232, 51, 233. Let's see how we do. 238, folks. There you go on MongoDB. Woo! Now listen, it's going to move fast. So be careful out there, okay? It's going to move fast. 234.28. My goodness, this thing is moving like the wind here. I'm not doing anything. I'm just let it run. I know what's happening out there, so I'm letting it run a little bit. Yeah. Let's see. Yeah. 237, 238.13 now on MongoDB. So congratulations to those who did that. Palo Alto Networks, I'm in at 149.07 this morning. So all of my orders nicely filled early, and I'm pretty happy this morning here on all the stuff. So 233.69 now. Okay, 233.76. Pretty quiet morning, actually. Palo Alto, IBM now pushing here, 239 now on IBM here. Those of you know that I have been in IBM here. I like IBM. And IBM now at 240 now on IBM here. $240.25 here now on IBM. Apple with all kinds of new products out. They're not stopping, are they? You buying anything new, Dave? Did you get kicked out? Okay,
hey, there I am.
Kick yourself out? Okay. There.
I'm intrigued by Apple. I've been disappointed in them in years because they just keep on iterating on the same things. They did one VR set, like it's a little boring. It's like, okay, faster processor, but you can't sell that. When Steve Jobs, introduced the iPhone, he didn't say, hey, look at this camera. He said, you can store your entire family's pictures in one place. Like, that's magic. He's a sales guy. So I don't.
Yeah, it's funny, and you talk about it from the IBM push it again here. You talk about it from the perspective of Bill Gates. At the very beginning, he said you'll never need more than 780 megabytes of hard drive space. I mean, even they were not preparing for the future, their visions of the future, right? They weren't really ready. Spot gold still dropping here. WTI about 77 at the handle there. Bitcoin dropping 67,000, but it popped to 67.6. So. I don't know. There's a lot of volatility going on right now. People really don't know what to do right now. Palo Alto Networks is making me happy here. We had Jim Iorio on the show, loving on PANW. That was his stock that he loved, and I like it. I liked what was going on here. The 200-day moving average told you everything. You can see it there. There's the big line that I made the other day. That's where I'm long, and we are still going in it. So I'm still long Palo Alto Networks. I think that security is a big deal here. It's cybersecurity. Palo Alto Networks being one of the bigger companies at it. Dow still off that.
Do you think central banks would get involved in any of this? Are they going to monkey around while this instability is happening?
I have to ask, when do they not monkey around? I mean, they constantly get in, right? I mean, that's part of their problem, right? They don't really know what, and they're using old data. We've talked about that. Howard and I have talked about this several times, that they just don't seem to be able to catch up to what's really going on. It really bothers me. Keep my eye here on NVIDIA here. The big stock NVIDIA down about 2.39%. You would have thought that NVIDIA would be getting crushed right now, but it's not. It ticked now down 600 right now as selling picking up just a little bit here. Advanced decline now minus 6,500. That's a very negative day, folks. We already know that's a negative day, but I think it's even more negative than people think it is. But I like when it's this negative. Palo Alto Networks now up 1.25% here. And keep my eye again on MongoDB now down. Oh yeah, now down 29.3% here. I think it's an overreaction here. Might buy a little bit more down here. I'll do like that 230.63. I kind of want to buy more. That's kind of the problem with me right now.
Metals, what are those doing?
Gold right now sitting at 51.12, still slipping here. Tick now down 500. So and you're looking at XAG, good old silver at 81 now, handle down about 9.5%. Silver is not a good trade right now. It's great. That's all right. It's a great trade, nothing to hold. I wouldn't be holding silver real long term here. Yeah, 238 now back on IBM there. MongoDB, we are keeping our eye very, very tight on MongoDB here. I'm going to buy a little bit more MongoDB here on the market order here. 238.36 now on IBM. Those of you have been watching, I have been keeping that track. Target TGT on a negative date, up 3.38%, up 3.35%. Looks like Target's getting their game plan together again. Now Q's now trying to get up there now, 598.11, trying to get over that 600 handle. Once we get 600, we could go right back on up. It looks like people are buying the dip here. Dow only down 800 points here now. It could this could be a buy the dip. Palo Alto Network slipping just a wee bit here now. IBM pretty flat on the day here. $598.80 now on the Qs now, as we are trying to get back to the 600 handle here on the Qs. Highs of the day now, 598.90 now on 599 now on the Qs. So there are buyers here coming into the NASDAQ here. 599.10 now. IBM down 0.27%. I mean, it's interesting here. I like this. I'm buying the dip, Dave. Am I the crazy one here?
Well, it doesn't mean you shouldn't buy.
Damn it. All right. Considering that the market's down as much as it is, I mean, I'm loving this. That's why you always have to have powder. 239 a quarter now back on IBM, and 599.23 now. The Q's now on the highs of the day, 599.37 now, as the NASDAQ is now starting to push back up again. Down 830 here, 820 now. Looks like there are buyers stepping back in. 236 now on MongoDB. Hey. Anybody else out there that hey Zora, sorry I saw your message there. Anybody else out there buy MongoDB with me there? 237 now there on MongoDB. Hey, let's go. 238 now on MongoDB. Pull up a 1 second chart there so everybody can get a good feel for what's going on here in MongoDB. Looks like there are buyers stepping in here into MongoDB. Totally makes sense to me. Look at that. 238.91 now is the high of the day on MongoDB. Can we get up there? Yeah, it's testing. It's testing. Oh, the volume in that is just outrageous right now. Volume 2.31 million. An average volume is 1.74. We've almost doubled the volume of the average of the day already.
Wow.
Ticked down 600 already. Bitcoin 66.8 now, struggling, and the Q's now struggling now. Ticked down 730 now. As advanced decline minus 7,000 now. This is probably the most negative day we've had in a very long time. So, man, look at the numbers of watching us that day. Let's get this. If you don't hit that like button, subscribe, and just want you to let everybody know. And hey, please hit that. Retweet out there for us. We love this stuff. Get those numbers up. I love it. Under Armour. $7 a share now on Under Armour. $6.99 down 3.32. And I'm wearing Under Armour today's day. I know I haven't bought Under Armour in a long time, actually.
Yeah, I bought some recently too.
Yeah, okay.
Fine University of Maryland crowd.
Yeah, I was getting ready to say, I've hung out with him quite a few times.
Yeah.
Buffett concerts and kind of a few other things in Maryland. Yeah, Maryland. All right. Yeah, MongoDB still struggling here. Bitcoin 66.8 still. Royal Caribbean down 1.58. Yeah, Nvidia down only 2% now. CoreWeave down about 6%. So CoreWeave is really struggling this morning. Ethereum down about 4% now, down below the 2,000 handle once again there. Looks like we might. There it is, 238 once again there on MongoDB. Spot gold now below the 5,100 handle now. So more selling in gold here. Can't use your gold during a war. Down 960 points here. Woo. Palo Alto Networks up 0.4%, bucking the trend here. The dollar, the Dixie now 99.36. So a lot of those things right there. Yeah, still seeing a lot of that. ZSL, which is the reverse ultra fund on silver, now up 23% there. Be careful there. It did split 10 for 1. So you got one share for every 10 you owned back then. We are seeing the tick now pushing just a little bit, but not much. Bitcoin still slipping here. And yeah, advanced decline now down minus 7,038 here. I honestly think Dow might be down 1,000 points here. I think we just did that, didn't we? Dow down now 1,000 points. I'm not scared though. I think the selling is a little overcooked here. Still seeing negative in the advanced decline line of minus 7,000. So that's going to keep a massively negative day. Yeah, look at MongoDB trying to push back. There you go, 238 on MongoDB now. 238.50. AI doesn't work without MongoDB. 238. Come on, baby. Let's go. Boom. High of the day on MongoDB. There you go.
Book recommendation. I listened to Sorkin's 1929 book.
Love it. Love it. I read the book twice now, actually.
It's so, fun. It's a cool read.
You know, when I first started reading it, and it's interesting, I was on the floor of the New York Stock Exchange, and I saw Andrew Sorkin and Leslie Stahl when they were on the floor, and it was interesting listen to banter back and forth. And she asked a very interesting question: do we see a lot of the things of like 1929 as in today? And he said, "Yes, yeah." It's the same thing. No, But you know, there are some similarities. When I was reading the book, I thought the book was going to lead up to the actual days of 1920 of October 29th, 29. But it actually talked about the days afterwards, right? The aftermath, right? And I think that's when I got really good. Like I was excited about the run up, going, okay, here's what these guys didn't do, and they were partying the days before, right?
Totally.
The risk, right? And they weren't partying afterwards, right? They're running around to talk to Hoover, and it was very interesting. I liked the aftermath. I won't give it away, but I think the aftermath was better than the actual leading up. 241 now on MongoDB for those of you who got involved with me there. Ziff Davis now up 63% of ZD, making a deal here with Accenture. And I don't talk about Accenture because my wife works for Accenture, so I don't talk about it. But ZD up 62%. $241.25 there now. So hopefully some of you got involved in MongoDB with me. You got to be really happy there. Look at that. And got an outperform rating by BMOs. So they got to keep their rating there. So probably people are starting to realize that they made, there we go, 241.40. Now the high is the day now. Just hit the high of the day. IBM almost there. IBM about to go green here on the day, I think. NVIDIA only down 1.8%. So this is not a bad day here for some stock. It's a stock pickers market right now, I think. Oof. 240.25 there. A little bit of slippage there. There's a tick down to 670 now. Qs are really struggling at the 597 handle here. So, and of course, the advanced decline now minus 7,200. So even more stocks have now gone negative on the day. Like to see IBM go positive on the day for us. Dow down 1,050 points now. NASDAQ down. Oh my goodness, NASDAQ now down almost 2% here on the day. Davey, let everybody know about you and my buddy for many years now, Jeremy Newsom. You guys have a awesome podcast. Tell me about
it. We recorded it just this morning, right before I got on here. So a new episode launching tomorrow.
Okay.
It's all about, it's called Solving America's Problems. We have a link here for you. Jeremy is, really wants to make a difference in the world. He eventually wants to run for office. And my world is about politics. So this is really all about looking at what the issues are in the United States and what the solutions are. And over again, we find simple solutions that are politically possible and can really make a difference and really speaks to people who feel disenfranchised. So we're excited about actually doing this.
And I put the link out there for everybody to look. I'll put it out there. To Solving America's Problems on Apple too as well, and you can just type in Solving America's Problems everywhere in the podcast. But I just let Jeremy know that I want to be Secretary of State. That's my that's what I want when he wins. So, Bitcoin down. Bitcoin slipping here. There's 66,300 here. Yeah. IBM is now down $3 here. So I was kind of pushed for that big win there. See if it can get positive on the day, but it didn't quite do it. Royal Caribbean down 2.7%. I'm not really sure that people are not taking cruises right now because of it, but yeah.
As that I'm staring at all of the boats right now, I see them go in and out every single day. You know, Royal Caribbean, I did the analysis on it and I made good money on NCL and a couple of other ones. Royal Caribbean is the value one, and that's going to get hurt, but the rest of them on the luxury side, they're going to keep cooking. So that's where it is.
And I will be on RCL next week, so I'll be out next week. I haven't taken a break in a while. 240 now, back on MongoDB. I think we push above now. We've had that selling, that sellers were out there and just couldn't push it, and now I think we've down 26% is a lot too much for a company that's pretty much on the forefront of AI. So I don't really understand. The selling there is a little silly for me. All right, NVIDIA down 2% here. ZM Zoom now 71.77 now. Again, I mean, Zoom is literally everybody's using Zoom still. It's not as good as it was, I guess, during COVID. I understand that. It's a daily chart. But it has been pushing up daily, and I do like that. That's selling. And again, I'm gonna do it one more time for everybody here. Look at this rounding here. I like this, and we're starting to get that too here, and I like that. And then you can see the rounding of the volume also starting. The negative volume also dying too. So Zoom could be one of those that starts to pick back up as well.
Yeah, they're trying to be a dessert topping and a floor wax. They keep on adding stuff, and look. Stick to your.
You know, I agree. I don't break the egg here. That's good. Yeah. And every time I don't want to use their platform. I like, just give me the link and give me the Zoom, and that's what I want to do. Stop making me do things I don't want to do. I understand that. Yeah.
Yeah. Just make money on that. You make a ton of money just on that.
Let's see if we can't get MongoDB to break above the top here. 242 flat. Handle there was the high to where 241 now. 4.10 now on the 10-year now. Minus 7,400 now. Look, there's only 9,000 stocks, folks. About a little bit more than 9,000. There's not much more decline we can go here. And the number of stocks declining more than advancing here. Costco up almost 1% here. Target TGT now at 4.2%. If we can get some chilling out in the Middle East a little bit, I think the market will take right back up. I think it'll pick. Wow. Thank you so much. Make sure that you hit that like button, subscribe, give me and Dave some love out there. Our social media is out there as well. And yeah.
Yeah, so what I like about the stock market and what's weird about it is that certainly Trump sees it as his own personal victory, right? Like it's, you know, if the stock market is up, he thinks he's doing a good job. So if it's going down, what's going to be the reaction? That's what I'm going to be looking for. That could actually drive policy.
Yeah. And I have to ask, where are the wins? I mean, what is he winning at? I mean, he said there's a good possibility that Texas turns blue.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we have our bet on that. Silver dollar on that one. Yeah, the midterms are a while away, so I can't say anything about it now, but you know, like everything's pointing to an absolute shellacking at the midterms. I mean, certainly every special election that's been held in the last 2 months have gone that way.
Every single one's gone Democrat. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, this is wildly unpopular.
239.35 now. So MongoDB now settling in now on the price now. For those of you bought 230 with me, hey. Let's see where we're at.
Well, and that's what the market's going to have to contend with. We don't know what the exit is. How do we know when the exit is? When do we exit? How are we paying for this? What happens after?
Yeah.
Don't know.
There's no strategy behind this one. Yeah. But maybe there is. We'll see.
No, there's not. Everything I've heard, everything, insiders, the rest of it, everyone I've talked to, it's like, it's a giant shrug, which is not where you want our young men and women overseas doing. We just finished up a series on guns on our podcast. And, the reality of it is that 18 veterans are going to kill themselves today. So that's what we get for this.
Yeah. I mean, there's more blowback and more fallout than we even think that there is a lot of times. And that's one of the biggest ones, is the aftermath. There's a big wall there at 242, so I'm not liking this wall here. But I'm going to say long. I'm okay with it. Oh no. Tick down 680 right now. Tick is really struggling here this morning. Wow, the market's kind of chilled out a bit here. I think this is where it's settling in a little bit. A little bit of a bounce there in Bitcoin now, 66.7 now. Tick down 500. So Tick is trying to get back up there. Still not really seeing much here. So we got about 50 seconds now to the top of the hour here. Any last words for everybody to go?
Stay safe. We can't control any of this, but you can control like your friends, your family, the people you reach out to. That's where you can make the biggest difference. So, spend some time talking to those folks today.
Love it. I love it. I agree. And look. It seems to be the very thing that I've talked about over the last 6 months is that common sense has left the building, and we need to get back to common sense. And I think that's where the market's at. All right, it's 10 o'clock, folks. Do you know where your market is? As the Money Honey used to say. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we'll see you right back here a little bit later.